All right, so imagine this. Your phone's buzzing, and the voice on the other end, it's like totally your best friend, right? Super urgent, needs your help, like right now, and you're ready to drop everything, no questions asked. But then just a tiny little red flag pops up in your mind. Like, wait, what if it wasn't actually them?
Yeah, spooky, right?
Welcome to the deep dive, everybody. Today we're going deep, really deep, into the world of AI, artificial intelligence, but forget about just the cool new apps or whatever. We're going way beyond the hype to uncover what's really happening, the awesome breakthroughs, but also the potential dark side.
The good and the bad, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got a whole stack of recent reports and articles that we've been digging into for this. Just to give you an idea of how huge AI already is, like ChatGPT. It's churning out, get this, 100 million words every single day.
Every day.
That's nuts.
It is. According to Reuters, that's like 200,000 novels just appearing out of thin air every single day.
200,000 novels every day.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not just text, though, is it? I mean, Hollywood's jumping on this AI train big time, right?
Yeah, full speed ahead.
Yeah.
Variety said, I think it was just last year, that a whopping 65% of studios are already using AI in some way, like helping with scripts, even editing.
Wow. And Gartner, they're predicting that by next year, so 2025, 30% of all enterprise content will be, get this, synthetic, meaning made by AI.
AI is writing our marketing materials. That's kind of wild.
Right. And this isn't some far-off sci-fi stuff. This is happening now.
Right now.
There are already tools out there like, Zao and Deepfake Lab that make it, like, ridiculously easy to fake voices and faces. Anyone can do it.
Easy to use, but the results are scary good. Deep Media reported last year that something like 500,000 deepfake videos were already out there online.
500,000. And get this, they're predicting an 800% increase in, what's it called, synthetic media this year.
800%.
So basically an explosion of AI-generated stuff is about to hit the internet.
Brace yourselves.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what we're doing today, cutting through all the hype, all the noise, to figure out, like, how is AI really affecting our world?
And not just in some abstract way, but your world, your life. How is this going to change how you interact with information, with people, with your job?
Totally. We'll look at those scam calls,
Yeah.
the misinformation, how AI is shaking up the job market, and those free AI tools. What's the real cost there?
'Cause free is never really free.
Right. Okay, let's start with, like, the darker side of AI. What are the risks we need to be aware of right now?
Well, the thing that jumps out right away is the scams, the deception. AI is making it way easier to trick people. SUB and the FTC, they reported a massive, like, 3,000% increase in deepfake fraud last year. That's insane.
3,000%.
And these scams cost people a lot of money. We're talking about $2.6 billion lost globally.
And it's not just, like, faceless corporations getting hit. It's everyday people like us. There was that story in the Wall Street Journal, remember? A CEO's voice was cloned so perfectly that they tricked a company into sending $243,000. Like, it sounded exactly like him.
No way.
Seriously, they thought they were talking to their boss.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just him. It's happening, Vienna Express in Vietnam, I think it was. They were talking about scams where AI is used to fake, like, relatives in distress, like emergency situations.
That is so messed up.
It totally is.
Yeah.
Preying on people's emotions, their instinct to help loved ones. And it's not just about money. AI is also being used to, like, manipulate politics, which is really scary when you think about it.
Absolutely. Like that video of Nancy Pelosi a few years back, remember? They slowed it down to make her seem like she was, I don't know, drunk or something. Went totally viral. And more recently, there was a case in Slovakia where they used fake audio of a politician supposedly talking about election fraud. Bloomberg reported on that.
And that probably affected how people voted, right?
Almost certainly. This stuff has the power to sway public opinion, even elections. It's a real threat to democracy.
No kidding. Okay, so we've got scams, financial loss, political manipulation. It gets worse, doesn't it? What about this whole non-consensual content thing?
Yeah, that's a whole other level of awful. Sensity AI reported that 96%, a full 96% of deepfakes are non-consensual porn.
96%.
Mostly targeting women.
That's just horrific.
It is. And the FBI has even issued warnings about criminals using social media photos to create, like, revenge porn deepfakes to extort people. It's incredibly invasive and damaging.
And then there's the whole problem of bias and errors in AI-generated news.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. MIT found that a crazy 98% of AI news articles have some kind of bias or factual error.
98%.
It makes it really hard to know what to believe anymore. One of the YouTube comments we saw put it perfectly. This isn't innovation, it's exploitation.
And there was that Taylor Swift deepfake scam earlier this year, right, with the fake giveaways and everything.
Yeah, people are falling for this stuff. It's really disturbing.
It's no wonder trust is eroding online.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Even Meta's own AI systems mislabeled 40% of real photos as AI generated last year. That's according to The Verge. It's like even the tools designed to spot the fakes are messing up.
And it's not just images. Consumer Reports said Amazon is having a real problem with AI-generated fake reviews.
Yeah, I saw that.
They said 62% of shoppers don't trust online ratings anymore.
If you can't even trust product reviews, what can you trust?
That's a good question. So how do we even fight back against this? I mean, there are deepfake detection tools, right? But, like, who has access to those?
That's the problem. There are tools like Reality Defender that claim 98% accuracy, but they're expensive, not something everyone can use, and the laws are way behind the technology.
Right.
The EU is trying to catch up with their AI Act, but that's not coming into effect until 2026. In the meantime, all this harmful stuff can spread unchecked.
And it's not like we can just rely on ourselves to spot the fakes.
Right? Unfortunately not. University College London did some research showing that humans can only identify deepfakes correctly about 12% of the time.
Wow, only 12%.
Yeah. And according to All About Cookies, 77% of Americans have been tricked by AI content at some point. Our brains just aren't wired to spot these things.
That's kind of scary, actually.
It is. And with so much money to be made from fake news, CHQ estimated $78 billion in losses in 2020 alone. The incentives to create this stuff are huge.
Okay, so we've got this, like, deepfake and misinformation problem, and it's only getting worse. But AI is also impacting the job market in a big way, right? And it's not all bad news.
Yeah, that's where things get really interesting. There are these two very different narratives about AI and jobs. On one hand, you've got the optimists, like the World Economic Forum, who say AI will actually create more jobs than it destroys, like 97 million new jobs by 2025.
More jobs.
That's what they're saying. They talk about all these new roles emerging in fields like big data, machine learning, cybersecurity. Plus, you've got all these AI tools helping people in existing jobs, like GitHub Copilot for programmers, ChatGPT for writers. Even doctors are using AI to analyze medical images.
Okay, so that sounds pretty positive.
It does, right. And McKinsey's predicting a huge economic boost from all this, somewhere between $2.6 and $4.4 trillion every year. But here's the thing. They're also saying that the key skills for this AI-powered future will be, like, critical thinking and tech skills. Which makes sense, but it also makes you wonder, like, what about everyone who doesn't have those skills? What happens to them?
That's a good point. And then you've got the other side, the more pessimistic view, like what Goldman Sachs is saying. They're predicting a loss of 300 million jobs globally by 2030.
Yeah, that's a much bleaker picture.
That's 14% of the global workforce.
Basically, 375 million people needing to find new careers. And the jobs that are most at risk: writing, photography, admin work, and a lot of manufacturing jobs where automation is taking over.
And we're already seeing that happening, right? Like CNET using AI to write articles, which supposedly led to some journalists getting laid off. And the Hollywood strikes last year were partly about AI being used for script writing and even to, like, recreate actors digitally.
Exactly. And it's not just Hollywood. Clara, the customer service company, laid off like 700 people last year and replaced them with AI chatbots. And in China, some factories are already almost entirely automated, like 90% of the workforce replaced by robots.
So will these new AI jobs be enough to offset the losses? Or will we end up with a ton of people out of work who can't find new jobs?
It's the big question.
Because even with the predicted net gain of 69 million jobs by 2028, that still pales in comparison to the potential loss of 300 million by 2030.
It does. There's this huge gap between the potential job creation and the potential job displacement. That's what worries people.
And, like, how do we even fix this?
Well, a lot of experts are talking about reskilling, retraining people for these new AI-related jobs and changing education to focus more on tech and critical thinking.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
And of course, we need policies that address AI bias so everyone has a fair chance at these new opportunities. But honestly, it's a massive challenge. Scaling those solutions globally, making sure they actually work for the people who need them most, that's not easy.
No kidding.
And with predictions that up to 40% of jobs could be automated by 2030, potentially affecting 375 million people, It's a really daunting
It
task.
is. Plus, there's this whole other concern about power, right? Like, who controls AI?
Exactly. A lot of the commentary we read was worried about a few big tech companies basically becoming even more powerful because of AI, which could worsen existing economic inequality.
Yeah, that's something to think about.
Definitely. It's not just about jobs, it's about the whole structure of society.
Okay, so we've got these big, scary problems with AI. But then there's also all this talk about, like, free AI tools that are supposed to be amazing for everyone, like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude 3. What's the deal with those?
Yeah, they're super popular. And they do some pretty cool stuff. You can chat with them, write different kinds of text, brainstorm ideas, do research, even write basic code or create images. And it's all free, at least to start. So it's no wonder people are excited about them.
Totally. I've messed around with them myself. But there's that saying, right? If you're not paying for the product, you are the product. So what's the catch with these free tools?
Well, they have to make money somehow, and there are three main ways they do that. First, and this is the big one, they collect your data. Every prompt you type, every image you make, all of that feeds into their AI training.
So they're basically using us to make their AI better.
Exactly. Second, the free versions are usually limited. They might have weaker AI models, fewer features, or usage limits to encourage you to upgrade to a paid plan.
Makes sense.
And third, once you get used to using these tools, it's easy to get hooked and start paying for the extra features, so it's a smart business model for them.
It is. But it's kind of creepy, right?
Yeah.
Like all our personal thoughts, business ideas, everything we type into these tools, it's not just disappearing. They're keeping it and analyzing it.
Yeah, and a lot of them are upfront about it. It's in their privacy policies. ChatGPT's free tier, for example, says OpenAI logs conversations for training purposes. Same with Google Gemini. They store your queries to improve their models. And Microsoft Copilot might use your input to develop their AI products.
So it's not really private then.
Not exactly.
And that can have some serious consequences. I remember reading about those Samsung engineers who accidentally leaked company code through ChatGPT. Because OpenAI kept that data, Samsung's secrets were potentially exposed.
Yeah, that's a cautionary tale. It shows the risks of using free AI tools for anything sensitive. And then there's the whole issue of open source AI models.
Of course.
Yeah, where the code is publicly available. A lot of people see that as a more privacy-friendly option since you can, like, inspect the code yourself. But it comes with its own risks. Well, because the code is open, anyone can modify it, which is great for innovation, but it also means bad actors could potentially insert malicious code.
Oh, I see.
Like, remember the leak of Meta's Llama model? People
Sure.
were modifying it in all sorts of ways, some good, some not so good. And then there's DeepSeek, this powerful AI from China. No one really knows who's controlling it or what they're doing with it.
That's unsettling.
It is. Even if you're running an AI model locally on your computer, if it's based on open source code, it could be vulnerable. People could steal your data, manipulate the output to be biased or harmful, even use it for surveillance.
So basically, free AI tools are fine for casual use. But if you value your privacy, you need to be really careful.
Exactly. The bottom line is understand how these tools work, don't share sensitive information, read the privacy policies carefully, and be extra cautious with open source AI. Free might seem tempting, but remember, you're often paying with your data.
Okay, good advice. So let's move on to something a lot of people are excited about. Making money with AI. We see all these claims online about using AI to write ebooks, create music, make videos, and just rake in the cash. Is that realistic?
The idea of passive income is definitely seductive. Imagine just giving an AI a prompt and it spits out a bestseller or a viral video and you just sit back and count the money. Sounds amazing, right? But in reality, AI-generated content, especially videos, still has a long way to go.
Yeah, the stuff we've seen, like from Pictory and Runway ML, it's kind of, I don't know, robotic, generic.
Right. It's lacking that human touch, the creativity, the emotion that really connects with an audience. It's not the kind of stuff that goes viral and makes you rich.
So AI isn't going to replace human creators anytime soon.
Not entirely. It's a great tool, for sure. You can use it to brainstorm, get initial ideas, maybe automate some tedious tasks, but it's not going to replace human creativity, artistic vision, or technical skills.
So what are the realistic ways to make money with AI?
Well, think of it as a co-pilot, an assistant. You use it to enhance your own skills and creativity. So brainstorm with it, refine the output, focus on niche areas where there's less competition, and don't expect to get rich quick. It takes work.
Right. The guy we saw who tested those AI video tools, He said they weren't good enough to replace a professional editor or a creative director.
Exactly. The people who are successfully making money with AI, they're blending AI tools with their own skills and expertise. They're not just pushing a button and letting the AI do everything.
So AI can be a powerful tool for making money, but it's not a magic bullet.
Absolutely. Don't believe the hype. It takes work, and you need to be realistic about what AI can actually do.
Good to know. So as we wrap this up, it seems like AI is this incredibly powerful force with both amazing potential and some serious risks.
It is. It's changing the way we live, work, and even think. And it's happening faster than most of us can keep up with.
Totally. From the scams and the misinformation to the job market disruptions and the hidden costs of free tools, it's all pretty mind-blowing.
It is. And that's why it's so important for you, our listener, to really think about what we've discussed today. How is this going to affect your life, your choices, your career?
Big questions.
They are. Understanding both the opportunities and the risks of AI is crucial for navigating the future.
And that brings us to our final thought for today, something to really chew on. With AI advancing so rapidly and becoming so integrated into our lives, what does that mean for the future of human interaction, for social trust, for the very fabric of our society?
What changes are coming that we can't even imagine yet?
And, even more importantly, how can we ensure that AI benefits humanity as a whole?
Not just a select few.
How do we prevent it from creating new problems or making existing inequalities even worse?
Those are the problems we all need to be grappling with.
They really are. Thanks for diving deep with us.
Yeah, thanks for listening.